Okay. Um, Hi, I'm Christine Gimbar, and I'm running this great program to South America. And so this is an information session sort of about the trip, the dates of the trip, what we do on the trip. I'm here as the faculty organizer of the trip, and Kate Simmons is here as our study abroad person. If you have any questions about money or scholarships or application or enrolling in the class, that's all Kate. As far as the trip itself, that's me. But either of us, you can go to either of us. I have my email address at the bottom of the last slide. So this is a 10-day short-term study abroad trip. It's happening in December, roughly from Monday the 1st to Thursday the 11th. And we spend 5 days in Santiago, Chile, and then fly to Buenos Aires and spend 5 days in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The best part about this trip is that we see two locations, and despite the fact that they're neighboring countries, these are very different locations, very different countries, different vibes, as the kids would say. So it's a really cool, unique trip. So I just wanted to share a little bit about me, and then I'll share a little bit about first Chile, which is where we start, and then Buenos Aires, Argentina. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I'm from the DC area. I grew up in Maryland, so if anybody's from Maryland, it makes me a Commanders fan. I went to the University of Scranton. Undergrad, I got a degree in accounting. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a large public accounting firm, and I worked there in New York City, so I'm still on the East Coast. Then I went back to school to get my PhD in accounting, which is like the epitome of a nerd, and graduated from there in 2015. In 2015, I moved to Chicago. I'm a Midwesterner now. I've been here 10 years, so I feel like I can officially say I'm a Midwesterner, and I love it here. So I've been here ever since. So that's a little bit about my background. I don't have any kids, but I have a husband, and that's us actually last year in Argentina, where you'll be going. And that's our French Mastiff Louis, who's actually right behind me right now. He's sorry, he's might be doing something inappropriate. Um, so that's basically our child. We have lots of nieces and nephews that we spend a lot of time flying in and babysitting for. We love to travel. I have a good, I think I would call it a good experience traveling. So been all around the place. And so I love to take students on these trips. It's just so fun and it's such an immersive experience. I benefited from study abroad both in high school and in college. And I think travel is a really important part of just learning. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. So this trip is a fall 2025 course. So you would enroll in the class in the fall, and we have three-hour pre-trip meetings. Usually those meetings happen on Fridays only because that's when the group all doesn't have class. It's really hard to schedule everyone's Monday through Thursday classes at the same time. So we usually just do Fridays. We hang out for 3 hours in the fall quarter for three randomly selected Fridays. And then we will get ready to go. We'll learn everything we need to know about our location. We'll talk about what we're going to do. We'll talk about the weather down there. It's going to be summer in December. So that'll be fun and nice for the nice break from Chicago, December. So we start on December 1st by flying into Santiago, Chile. And here's our sample itinerary from last year when this program was run in the summer of 24. This is sort of what we did. So you can see on the left side, it was 5 days in Santiago, Chile. On Friday, we flew into Buenos Aires, Argentina. And then the following Tuesday, we left Buenos Aires to head back home. But you can see this on the website too. This is just sort of a sample itinerary. It will be pretty much pretty similar this time around with a little bit more free time. I think it was pretty intense last time. We're going to have some more free time, more fun activities, even though we'll do some great business visits as well. So we arrive in Santiago, Chile. Usually our flight arrives around like 1 or 3 in the afternoon. We try to stay awake because there's a little bit of tiredness from not sleeping on the plane the night before. We go to a really nice dinner the first night. That middle picture, that's a restaurant which we'll go to again called Mestizo. It's really delicious. It's great. Lots of fun. And you can see on the right that photo of of Santiago, it's beautiful because it's a city with a mountain background. It's absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, the lower right, left too. We go to this really high point observation deck where you can sort of see the whole city on the first day. So you can get a lay of the land, understand where you are and where we're going to be going for the next few days. Okay, so we arrive in Chile and then we'll do business visits. The very first day, this trip is called Culture and Commerce. On the very first day, we do an economic overview of sort of what's the main driver of business in Chile. What are their imports or their exports? We have an economist talk to us about what makes Chile's business and economy thrive. So that's what we're doing on the left there. And then on the right, we will go to Startup Chile, which is sort of a place, an incubator for a lot of startups to happen, which is a really interesting visit. On the upper right, we went to a processing factory where they're trying to make some cleaning supplies with less plastics. So some really interesting businesses and what's going on in Santiago. So we learn about not only their culture, but also their commerce. We also have fun. We do a whole day trip outside of Santiago. Chile, I don't know if any of you drink wine, but Chile is really known for its wine regions. So there's so much wine. In fact, like on day 4 of the trip last time, I was like, I'm so sick of wine. I just want a beer. But lots of wine. So we spend a whole day at a vineyard. It's beautiful. We sit there, they give us a tour of the vineyard, and then they do a lunch, an educational lunch, and teach us about each wine we try. So that's a really fun day. On the right side, we did a service activity where we sort of helped out some of the locals with some service stuff. We baked, we made crafts. It was kind of a fun day. So we also have a lot of fun. Then we'll fly to Buenos Aires. Same thing. We start the day or start the trip with on the first morning with an economist talk to us about the commerce and what Argentina's big imports and exports are. If you look it up, you can notice that, Argentina and Chile have very different economies and very different GDPs right now. So this guy on the right talked to us for an hour or two about what's going on in Buenos Aires and then the next few days we sort of saw those happening in practice as we were around. We visited a place called the Food Market, which this woman who's presenting in that photo sort of started up. It's really interesting to see her process of how to start a business in Buenos Aires is really cool. So we do some business visits in and around the Buenos Aires area. We also have some fun. So we spend a whole day at a farm where we see a tango show. We're given a tour of the old farmhouse. We have a nice lunch with lots of meat. In the middle there, you'll see we go to, Kate might know the name of the neighborhood better than I forget, but we go to some cool neighborhoods. The lower left is Recoleta Cemetery. We see a lot, which is a very well-known, famous cemetery in the heart of Buenos Aires, right by our hotel. So we get a tour of that. The lower right, you'll see on the very last night, we do a tango lesson, and then we have a very nice meal followed by a tango show. So we do just kind of a lot of fun things. So Buenos Aires is a good time too. What else do I have on here? That's it. That's all I have for sort of what the lay of the land is. Despite the fact that I'm an accounting professor, it's not very accounting focused. It's sort of just understanding the culture of South America and sort of what their primary imports and exports are. Yeah, and then you'll get in groups and do a pretty low cost group assignment. And then we meet once more after the trip just to sort of summarize everything and present our group projects. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by my office, send me an email, and that's it.
Great. Thank you, Christine. I will talk very briefly about the admin process for applying to study abroad. So essentially, after the deadline passes, the application deadline on May 1st passes, Dr. Gimbar will start reviewing the applications. She'll communicate those admissions decisions to me, and then the students will start to hear back. And then after acceptance to the program, you'll have a week or two to make that decision to commit to the program. So there's no risk in applying. You're not on the hook for anything because after acceptance, you will have a period of time before you're asked to make a commitment. And only after that point are you on the hook for anything. You also are automatically considered for scholarships by applying to the program by the May 1st deadline. If it looks like we might have more room on the program, we may extend that deadline by up to about a week, maybe May 8th or so, but only students who apply by May 1st are automatically considered for scholarships. So please, please, please get your applications in by the original deadline. And then you would hear within a day or two after being accepted if you did receive a scholarship or not. So you would know that information before you're asked to commit to the program. We also have a mechanism for you to come forward to us and say, hey, you know, I didn't get a scholarship, but I really need one, or I got one, but it's not enough to help me across the finish line. And we reserve a small portion of our funds for scholarship appeals. So certainly just, you know, keep those lines of communication open with us, talk to us, and we'll see if there's anything we can do to help. Because we love nothing more than enabling students to be able to study abroad.
Yep.
So yeah, and then as far as the course itself, all students doing this program will take the course. The travel portion is just kind of a trip connected to the course. The course is the main part of it, even though you're spending very little time together during the regular quarter dates. Most of the time and effort is done after the quarter is technically over. But you would be enrolling in a 4-credit course in the fall quarter. It would work just the same way as any of your regular courses would. And it's a course that you can't sign up for on your own. It's something that just, you know, just hang on, hold tight, wait. And once we have our cohort finalized, I will then go ahead and register everybody. I know registration's coming up fairly soon, so if you're worried about it, you can always register for an alternative course as a backup. And then, you know, if you get into the program, if you commit, then once I register you, you can go ahead and drop your other course. So that way, you know, you don't have to worry about your schedule being, you know, less than you were hoping it would be. And as long as you don't go over 18 credits as an undergrad, there's no additional tuition charge because it's counted for university purposes just as if it were any other 4-credit course. Graduate students, it would be just as any course would. It would just be 4 credits through the business school at the graduate level price. You'd be taking IB 350 if you're an undergrad, IB 750 if you're a grad, but it's a combined course. And then what was I gonna add? I had one more bit and it just sailed away. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, so separately from tuition, there is a program fee for this program, which I cannot remember if it is updated or not, but if not, then it will be extremely shortly, and that would be charged to your fall quarter as well. And that is what is meant to cover your independent travel costs that DePaul is paying on your behalf, such as your flight, such as the housing, the activities, etc. So the reason it takes so long to get that price up is we calculate exactly what it costs DePaul on your behalf, and then we just pass that along to you so that we're not overcharging students. And that's the portion that our scholarships are meant to help offset. So if you have any questions on anything scholarship related or the admin process, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right, I'm going to stop recording and anyone present can ask any questions.